Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. So how do you get to the center of the world? I got a post from somebody from Amsterdam who liked my talk. It says, I like your talks. I'm from Amsterdam, the center of the world. So how do you get to the center of the world? Problem is, if you think I'm at the center of the world, then no one else is. I'm at the center of the world. You can't. Can't be two centers. Can't be two centers of the world. There's only one center. That's the thing. That's the thing. The commandment of the cosmos, God, even in the Bible, says, "Let there be only one God. Let there be one." With capital letters, O-N-E, let there be one. Because if you say, let there be two, then you're schizophrenic, metaphorically speaking. Oh, damn, here's... Caught it early. Thing about... hook. I remember... One of my children create lasting little incidents that are metaphors for great truth. So I remember we were late going somewhere, and my daughter, who was about 3 or 4, maybe 4, was late coming out. We went back to find her. She was in the bedroom trying to tie her shoelace, and she was saying, "Tie, damn it, tie." She was... Anyway, the older I get, the more I forget, but I remember it faster. Instead of going to Richmond to find out I left my shopping list, I find it before I get out, remember it before I get out the door. Anyway, I digress. Okay. Well, how do you get to the center of the world? Now, do you believe that if you're at the center, you're in the zone. You're Michael Jordan. You can dunk, you can hit the basket from every part of the court. When you're in the center of the world, everything works. You're George Costanza when all the lights are green and you got a parking spot right in front of the building you're going to. When you're at the center of the world, you say, "Thank you, Jesus. Finally, everything works. Finally, everything fits. Aha, everything fits." When everything fits, when everything works, when everything goes your way, when nothing you do is wrong, you feel like you're at the center of the world. Like on the Titanic. I'm at the center of the world, standing on the bow of the Titanic. So what is this center? It's paradise. Milton wrote a famous epic of England, the 15th, 16th century, I guess. I'm not sure. Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. Well, I studied it in English literature. But this whole idea, got the Garden of Eden. What is that but the center of the world? And we lost it. We lost Adam and Eve got kicked out of the center of the world. They went into exile. So what are they looking for? They're looking to get back into the garden. They're looking to regain their center, to find the lost center. So when I say, when my talk, welcome, Blackstone is the center of the world, but then you too are at the center of the world. So how can there be all these centers? It doesn't fit. It's not logical. Our map can only have once. If you look at a Google map and you put in your location, there's going to be an X where you are in space-time on the grid. So I'm in Blackstone, a little X there. No matter where I go on the map, there's the X. It starts from that center. That's the center of the Google map for me, but then everyone else here has a little X where they are. So this center on the flat map of space-time is a location, and there can only be one center. The Google map or the GPS won't work if there's two centers. There has to be one. Let there be one center. There is one center. I can map the world. If there's one center, I can go out to infinity and I can go in infinity. But you always knows where you are, you see, if you have one center. But if you erase that, where are you? Well, on the map, you have no location. The Google can't find you. They'll say, put in a location, put in a location. I want to use your location. They can't find you. They can't orientate you. They can't do anything unless you have a location. That is the center of the world. But then everybody's running around with the Google map and everybody's the center. So but what's the one center that has no second? That's paradise. What's the one center that has no location in time, in space-time? See, our reality is a space-time reality. Everybody's a thing in space with a location. I'm in Blackstone, you're wherever, you see. This little window here, I'm looking at an iPad. This little window is like a window into your space. I'm looking at you. I don't know how many people are looking at this, but you're all looking back at you're all looking. I don't see you. I keep it on mirror, so I'm looking at myself. Like Narcissus. Oh, I love you. I love you. But it's the moment I see you, then there's two centers. In the sense that I'm looking at you and you're in it, but then you're looking at me from your center and I'm in it. So if you were to walk in the room, you see, or if I were to see, if we were doing a Zoom or a face-to-face, you see, just you personally, you see, then there would be two centers. I would see you, and you as an I would see me. So the I and the I are two centers. Now, if you surrendered your ego, which is I'm the center of the world and you're not, so and if you say you are, I got to get rid of you. You see, the ego says I am the one, and you either go with me and get in my orbit, or I get rid of you. Because there can't be two ones. You see, there can only be one. So ego thinking is I am the one. That has no second, you see. But that is our lost paradise now, you see, because now I'm in conflict with other centers who say, no, I'm the one. No, I'm the one. No, I'm the one. You know, that's conflict. That's not paradise. Paradise is no conflict. Paradise is no impediments. Paradise is vast mind with no impediment. So when Bodhidharma came to China around 500 of the Common Era, I keep wanting to say AD, but CE, and the emperor met him, who was a big promoter of Buddhism. Buddhism was in China for a couple of hundred years, but it was a monastic system. It wasn't Zen. So Bodhidharma brought Zen to China, and the emperor wanted to meet this famous sage who had come from the West. And he says, I've been creating Buddhist monasteries throughout China. I'm a great emperor. What merit will I have? And Bodhidharma said, no merit. What? What? You mean all of this good works just won't get me to heaven or nirvana? No. Well, but what do you teach? Said the emperor. Said, my teaching is vast space or mind where not a thing is holy. Where not a thing is holy. Not a thing is special. In other words, there's nothing to attain. Vast mind, blue sky, where not a cloud is special. blue space, a blue, clear mind, where not an ego is present. But ego is a thing, you see. Where not a thing is holy, not an ego, not a self is holy. No center. And then the emperor said, well, who are you? And Bodhidharma says, I don't know, and walked off. I don't know, and walked off. He had no center. So you see what I'm pointing at here, what I'm playing with here? These talks are play. I play with an idea. I have a little sandbox, a little Facebook sandbox here, and I invite you in to play in the sand. Or maybe on the beach and we build a sand castle. Anyway, having no center. Why? So why would we want to have, in other words, you see the irony here is that to find paradise, you have to get rid of paradise. To find your center, you have to get rid of your center. It doesn't mean you can't go catch a bus and get a job and have a family and all that. It just means that there's a shift, a flip about in the way you look at the world, which is no longer as something, as a place where you have to attain anything. When you're at your center, you have already attained everything. You can't be better than you are. There's no attainment. There's no self-help. There's no need for meditation and yoga and study or making a lot of money or getting a career or a relationship or having a family or doing all these things that we do in order to be better, to make life better, to make myself better, to build my center. We want to build our center. We want to build, each of us has a center. We want to build our center, attract more views, attract more likes, to get some respect, to be a center leader, to be a center leader. I'll close because this is metaphorical to me. I don't want to get into this, but I'll just say when I met Swami Muktananda in 1978, I think, in other words, Swami Muktananda was a great Siddha yogi, and what he did was anybody could be a center leader if you took a course and were obedient to the guru, who was the center of the world. So if you orbited around the guru, who was the center, then you could have your center. And so I realized that was the answer to my problem. That was the answer to my quest. That was the answer to my spiritual journey, where I could be a spiritual center. And so it was in this orbit around Muktananda that I would open a Siddha Yoga Center in Blackstone, in Cleveland, where I lived in, and I would be a center leader, which is kind of like being a priest or a minister. The priest, the center for the Catholic is the Pope. And of course, for the Pope, the center is Christ and God, you see. So it flows down through the Pope out to each church, where the priest is the hierarchy of centers, you see. And that's the way the space-time world works. The center is like a pyramid with the one at the top, and then it spills down, you see, and everyone is a little center, a smaller center, as long as they all orbit around in orbit to the top one. You see, there'll only be one, right? So this is, and I'm just working this out as I talk to you. I've never thought of this before. So I had to be a center leader. I would go up and meet Bob and say, I would say I'm a center leader, and he would pat my head. He didn't give a shit. But for me, it was, I have arrived. I'm a center. I had my center. I was a center, you see. I couldn't be nothing. I couldn't have nothing holy. I had to be holy. So I kind of like pointed to this fact that the idea of being a center, when I say you are the center of the world, oh wow, but then everybody is the center of the world. Oh no. Then that doesn't make me important, does it? If everybody's at the center. This requires a totally different flip in the way you look at reality. You have to drop the Google map, where your center, your location, is in space, time, and a place. X marks the spot, you see. What would happen if you erased that? You would panic. I have no center. Nobody knows where I am. I would have no location. I would have no merit. I would have no merit. I would not be anybody. I would be no thing. A thing has a center. If you look around the room, everything in here, chairs, everything, each is a center. Each is a location. If I wanted to draw a map, I would put an X where the plant is over there, and then the whole room would move out from that X, and then I could move it around and look at the room from that picture up there. Whoops. You see, or that could be the center. Everything can be the center, but only one could be the center at the same time. In other words, there can't be, unless you got a walleye. I mean, when I look to the left, my eyes don't focus, right? So I get C2 of everything. But I know it's the problem of my eye. I don't believe there are two pictures there, even though I see two pictures when I look to the left, you see. Right now I see two me's. But I know there's only one me. So this is just a problem of my eyes, you see. But what happens if we have a problem with the way the mind sees? The way the mind sees. So that's what we're looking at here. How does my mind see the world? I need to question that. Thanks for dropping in. I did kind of ramble this morning.